What is up and how is it going, guys and gals? You're listening to the voice of Boom Nation, and today I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Beginner Tip Tuesdays in Black Ops 2. We're going to be covering some of the do's and don'ts and if and when to rush your opponents in Black Ops 2. So there's a lot of situations you'll come across as you're playing this game where there's this impending question of, do I or do I not rush my opponent? And if I do need to, how do I do so? There's a lot of different variables that are going to come into play all at once, and it can be a little daunting when you're trying to make this decision on the fly. So today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make some accurate, well-informed decisions on the fly in the heat of the moment to hopefully save you a few extra deaths and potentially get you a few extra kills as well. So let's get into it. We got a private match demonstration on the map Nuketown here, and I got my friend Muggy Bandit with me. Thanks so much for helping out, buddy. And let's pretend I just rounded this corner on Nuketown and I see this enemy and he sees me, and maybe we engage in a gunfight, maybe we don't, but bottom line, he pops back into cover. And here's the question, do I rush him and push forward and try and take him out that way, or do I sit on my heels a little bit and see what he does, see what move he makes? What you don't want to do in this situation is push forward, because I do have an assault rifle. It is very risky because, especially on a map like Nuketown, he's bound to have a shotgun or an SMG. At least 8 out of 10 people you come across on this map are going to have that kind of weapon, so bam, it puts you at an immediate disadvantage. If I have a submachine gun, you're probably not going to want to sit at too far of a range, right? You don't want to sit back here behind cover. Even with the Peacekeeper, you're kind of pushing that range, especially with the Peacekeeper, because of its unpredictable and sometimes high moderate recoil. You might not win that gunfight, and that can be pretty risky. You can assume he has a shotgun, in which case, you might want to press forward, but you kind of just have to figure all these variables in and decide what's the best decision in this moment at time. The last thing you want to do is run right up the middle of this alleyway or right towards your opponent, right towards their cover. Especially do not sprint at all costs, because now you're lowering your weapon, and if he pops out of cover unpredictably, now you're at a huge disadvantage. One thing you can do is kind of crouch walk towards him. That is a bit more risky, and not more risky than sprinting, but it is riskier than I'd like, and that you probably want to do. And definitely do not get too up close with the Peacekeeper in your hands, because you will pay for it, especially on a map like Nuketown. What I would do is kind of sit at this range right here. This is about the optimal range for this kind of weapon, even for a different submachine gun, and you're setting yourself up for the best chances to win this gunfight. It doesn't matter if the enemy is trapped, right? He may have run away, but at least you've been cautious enough to save your own life and keep your score streak going. One thing you can do is kind of shift to either side, try and change up the angle on him, and keep him guessing, not make it so that he can just pop out and pre-fire you right away, like I was showing you guys in last week's video. Now for this situation, let's go ahead and say that time is not permitting me to sit on my heels, or maybe I'm sitting in the middle of the map and it's just not safe enough for me to hang back and wait for him to make his move. What you want to do is throw all the equipment you got at him, slow him down, make it so he can't take you by surprise. And what you definitely want to do, what I love to do, is pin him, right? Pin him in this corner where he's stuck here with a piece of lethal equipment, whether it be a grenade or a piece of C4, and place it in this perfect sweet spot here so that he's not going to be able to run out away from that equipment quickly enough before you can either blow it up or light him up with some gunfire and definitely take him out. It's a great way to either quickly take him out with your equipment, or force him out of cover and force him to be on the defensive and have to make a decision based on what you've done, and really put him at a huge disadvantage for that gunfight. When it comes to making that quick decision, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. How much time do you have? Are you in a dire situation where you, no matter what, have to rush your opponent? And what map are you on? What is the usual weapon that someone might use on this map, right? This is a great way to set up easy gunfights. Every time you go into a new life, every time you spawn into the game, ask yourself, what weapon am I using? What weapon would I be best matched up against if I am in a perfect scenario, right? Assault rifle against a submachine gun or a shotgun at a medium range engagement, you are just going to tear them to pieces. You want to try and set yourself up in the most advantageous spots on the map as possible and work those rush routes and try and set yourself up for the best possible chances of surviving and getting the kill. Well guys, that's about it for today's Beginner Tip Tuesday. I really hope you all enjoyed the video. video, and if you did, please go ahead and leave a like rating down below. I want to say a big thanks to you guys for getting last week's episode to over 200 likes, which is really incredible. I think if we could just get over 150 likes on this video, that would be awesome as well. So big thanks to you guys. You all are awesome, and I really appreciate all your support on my videos. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a great day.